Hi guys, I got tired of posting on Instagram so many different videos because the max I can post is 1 minute each, and then I have 20 stories, and who wants to watch that when you're on Instagram just scroll. Anytime that I have a topic I want to talk about, discuss, give advice on that I think might be helpful, or maybe it's not helpful and you just want to hear about it because you want to hear my thought process, then you're just able to tune in. The topic I wanted to talk about was actually college and the importance of choosing a good college that aligns with you and your current lifestyle, and especially your financial status. Usually when you have to choose a college, the majority of people have to do that at the age of 18 when they've graduated from high school. And believe it or not, electing the right college could set you up for success or set you up for failure very early in life. It's a very important decision that we allow teenagers to make, and usually, at least from personal experience, I don't think I was fit enough to make that decision. Luckily, I was able to make the right decision at the time. But as an 18-year-old, you're not given a lot of information, maybe from your advisor, but your advisor will not be able to talk to every single student in your class and sit down with them and give them a personalized college choices. And it's very important to choose the right one, in my personal opinion. So when I was graduating, I actually didn't know how FAFSA worked. I thought it was actually a loan. I didn't know that they offered Pell Grants. I didn't know that the FAFSA depended on my parents' income. It didn't even have anything personally to do with me yet. I learned this as I went along. Many students don't know this, and they actually don't even apply for FAFSA because they don't understand the importance of it or if they'll actually benefit from it, which is understandable. If you're not taught about something, you won't be able to make an accurate choice. I went to a pretty nice school. It wasn't a public school, it was a charter school. My classmates, I feel like at that moment in time, many of them financially, their parents were above mine. They made more money, obviously, of course, and they had the opportunity to think about being able to go to different type of colleges. So private colleges, more expensive colleges. I personally didn't have that privilege. And then those kids that their parents didn't come from a great financial status, they just assumed that since FAFSA would be taking care of majority of their tuition, it was fine that they would choose a private college or a more expensive college and it would be okay for them because it wouldn't come out of their pocket. For example, my best friend, he chose to go to a university that is very well known, and that made me want to possibly go to that same university. But I started doing some research, and then I found out that the college I decided to go to would charge me half of the tuition cost. And now I understand that you're like, well, what does it matter? At the end of the day, FAFSA would have been paying for it regardless because I qualified to be helped fully. I wouldn't have to pay a single dime. It would automatically cover all of my college costs. So we're talking about books, we're talking about classes, we're talking about everything. It wouldn't have mattered what college I went to. It was going to be paid. I could have easily made a decision off of different factors. Which one has the best college life? Or which one is the most expensive? Which one am I able to network with people that might be in a stage financially that maybe I want to be in? And I didn't choose it based off of that. I chose it based off of simply expense, tuition cost. At the moment, I didn't know how important that was going to be for me. I ended up going with a community college. Now, I heard a lot of opinions from teachers, from administrators, from other people that had already graduated and gone to a community college. And it was a very mixed type of advice that I got. Some adults hated it. They said that they wish they would have had a full college experience where they got to go to frat parties and join societies and all of that, which that's fine. If that's what you're interested in, I think go ahead, go for it. Other people said that it was the best decision that they ever made because of price. Even though they paid for it out of pocket, it was a great price. I ended up going the community college route, and as I went that route, I found out what FAFSA was. My friends, mostly, they all went to university, a very well-known university in Florida. I'm not gonna mention what community college I went to or what university I thought of attending, only because I don't want to use their names and maybe get the video taken down or suffer any type of consequences that may come from that. So I'll let you guys use your imagination. The community college I attended was very common in Miami, in the area that I live. And the other option was a very big university in Florida that a lot of people attend. So I ended up finding out about FAFSA and how it works, which is basically, like I said earlier on, your parents' income will determine how much you are financially helped by the federal government. And this help will include Pell Grants as well as maybe some loans. I don't think you should get involved in loans unless you really have to. Loans come with interest, and interest is basically just money that you have to pay back because they're letting you borrow that money. So on top of, if I let you borrow $5, right, and I add interest on that, when it's your turn to give me back my $5, you might have to give me back $7, $9, even $10. And $10 might be nothing, but when you make that be thousands of dollars, we're talking about you're gonna pay in interest a good heavy amount that will determine something at that point of your life. Anyway, I ended up going with my community college, and everyone got accepted into community college. So I didn't have to go through like that, oh my God, am I gonna be accepted? I had a little FOMO because they had this college list that they wanted to attend, and they had a plan how they were gonna move over there and all of that. But at that age, I feel like we didn't take into account what it all really meant. Going away from home has expenses, and it is a privilege to be able to do that move and be supported by your parents. If you don't have that privilege, it can put you in a very bad financial space, and that will affect, I feel like it will affect a chunk of your life, whether it's your early 20s or even later on. I know, at least I heard a lot about student debt. It's very popular to be in debt as a student in America, and you hear adults that are 30, 40, 50 years old and they're still paying off their student debt from when they were 20 and try to get a degree in microbiology. It's tough. At the end of the day, up until 12th grade, school is not considered like a business, in my personal opinion. Once you start college and looking for colleges, you have to keep in mind that college does become a business. It is a business that charges you. It is a business that you are paying. They're all going to want you because they want your money, right? They make a lot of money off of student debt. They make a good chunk amount. That's why they want you, not just because you have great grades and you'll represent a lot for the college, right? And when I decided to go for my community college, I started seeing the outcomes of my friends going to the university, right? Financially speaking, FAFSA was covering all of my costs to start college. FAFSA was also covering all of the costs for my friends to start their university. We were both going for our associates. Now, here's where it marked a huge difference. The university was charging my friends almost double in tuition cost to achieve the same goal that I had, which was to get my degree. And I was being charged half of what they were being charged. What happens with that money that was left over? FAFSA gives you a certain amount of money per semester. Let's say they give you $3,000 each semester, depending on the college that you choose. So if that's a university that wants to charge you $2,000 a semester, you will get back $1,000. Let's say you go to a community college and the community college charges you $1,000 or $1,500 each semester. You will receive the $1,500 or $2,000 back. They will go to you and you will be able to use it for whatever expenses you like, whether that's rent, car, whatever you could think of. That money is yours. It is yours to keep. It is yours to use. what I started seeing was my friends were getting back half of what I was getting each semester. We're talking about thousands of dollars just because they decided to go to a university. And now there's many different factors that could determine which school you decide to go to, because we all have different goals. We all have things that we prioritize. I prioritize money. In that moment, I prioritized the money. I did not care who was around me. I did not care what type of name or status going to that college held. For me, going to that college did not determine absolutely anything, because the way I think about it is, you're going to get a degree, I'm going to get a degree. Our degree will be counted the same, because the truth is that they are counted the same. Whether you say you went to this university or this college, at the end, what you were working towards was a degree. And your degree will say Associates in Arts. My degree will say Associates in Arts. The only thing that changes is who gave you that degree. That's it. And well, the people you meet, of course, that it will determine the people that you meet, because some people will go to that university, others will go to the college. For example, the university my friends attended, usually international students were present there. If they feel they will benefit in any way from being in an environment where international students are, go for it. My college, community college, it did not really have that many international students. It did not affect me at all. I didn't think I had to be in an international type of setting. I wasn't going to benefit in any way other than learning about cultures, and I could access that by literally just traveling. That's it. Now, here's the thing. Remember, I told you, college is a business. College does not want the best for you. College wants the best for themselves. That's why education here is not free. Hi, welcome to America. I went into my community college. I got my FAFSA. As soon as I got accepted into my community college, I was offered 2 scholarships. One of them I had to apply to. I applied to the scholarship. Luckily, I got accepted for the scholarship. It was great. The other scholarship is usually automatically given to any student that is receiving FAFSA. Why? Well, because let's talk about the scholarship that I applied to first. The scholarship I applied to first would give me all of my classes for free, and I would get to keep my FAFSA money. So basically, my tuition cost, let's say per semester, was $1,500. That meant that FAFSA would be giving me every semester $3,000, and my scholarship, right, the scholarship that I got, would be paying for all of my classes. That would be $1,500 that they would take off of me, which meant I got to keep the $3,000 I would get every semester from FAFSA. I got to keep it. Why did I get to keep the full amount? Because that scholarship paid for it. And on top of that, they would give the students $500 each semester that would go towards books. What did that mean? You usually have 3 to 4 classes, right? Books are expensive, but they still don't reach that $500 threshold. I got to keep the difference. So if I spent $300 in books during that semester, I would get the $200 deposited into my account. We're talking about I was getting $3,200 every single semester. That was great for someone that was 18 years old. You divide it into 3 months, and if you want to go even a step further, I decided to do the math for how many hours I was in college taking a class and how much money I was receiving. I thought of it as I was getting paid to go to college, and when I did the math, every hour I spent in college, I was being paid about $25 to $30 because of those $3,000 that I would get for a semester. Semester is between 3 and 4 months. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, the other scholarship, which is what people don't tell you, right? You have to go and seek this information yourself. You have to do your research. In this country, right? And in the whole world, people, corporations will benefit from your lack of knowledge in any topic, from your ignorance, right? This is information they didn't tell me. The scholarship that they automatically give you, they automatically apply to your account. What does that mean? If you don't go in and actually look out, hey, what did I receive? You will not find out that you had access to a scholarship that will pay your tuition and let you keep your FAFSA money. The scholarship that they automatically apply to your account will cover all of your classes, but you will not be allowed to have access to your FAFSA money. What does that mean? It either lets you have your FAFSA money or it covers all of your classes. Many students did not know this, and guess what? They chose for that scholarship to cover all of its classes. What did I tell you in the beginning of the video? FAFSA works in the following way. They give you $3,000 each semester. That's an example. This is not accurate and this will not be the number for everyone. It depends on what your parents make. They will give you the $3,000 each semester. You will pay for your classes. The difference, you get to keep. It's your money. The scholarship that is automatically applied if you get FAFSA, what does it do? It pays for all of your classes, right? But you will not receive the difference. You will not receive any money. They get to keep that money. I don't know where that money goes, and I think they get to keep it, so they get to keep the difference. You, no money. Your classes are just paid. I know, you think you got yourself a great deal. You did not get yourself a great deal. You just paid them. You gifted them money. If I would have not gone and done my own research, I would have fallen into that trap. I had to go sit down with an advisor and ask. I went and sat down with the person that represents the financial aid office and asked about the differences on taking one scholarship and not taking the other. When I was given this information, for me, I just received gold. It was handed to me. It was a dumb, quick, easy decision I had to make. Of course, I chose the scholarship I had to apply for and actually got. No-brainer. It was a no-brainer. But if I would have gone and sat down with an advisor or with a representative that was able to give me this information, I would have lost on money. Choosing your college path is very important. Like I said, I was able to graduate and I have 0 student debt. Why? FAFSA. I'm very grateful. I was basically put through college. I'm grateful I got FAFSA. I'm not grateful I had to grow up poor. But hey, in one way or another, it did end up benefiting me and it put me ahead in the game. It truly did. My friends were not receiving anywhere near the amount of money that I was getting simply because they decided to go to a school that was more known. Did it benefit them? That's up to them. I would have found absolutely no benefit in that. My benefit would have came straight from being able to make money. I was getting paid while I went to school. My advice to you is do your research. Do not be peer pressured to go to a prestige school that you cannot afford right now. It would be smarter for you to try and get your degree and in a way be compensated, be paid, right, to go to school. Because if you want at some point to continue your education, get your master's, get your doctorate, you will have to pay out of pocket. A smart decision would be, hey, listen, let me go to the cheapest school, get the same degree my friends are getting, right? The only thing that changes is the name of the school. Even professors, you're able to look them up. ratemyprofessor.com, a free website. You're able to see how the professors you want to choose are being rated by other students. You do not have to have professors that are not good, that will make your time in college be hard for you. You have that option. So you will end up with money that you can use later on and put that money into your education to further it. Because after your bachelor's, you are not allowed to receive any more Pell Grants. Your Pell Grant is only up until your bachelor's degree. After your bachelor's, you have to pay out of pocket. You do not want to finish your bachelor's with no money because you decided to go to a prestige university, right? And now you have to pay out of pocket for your master's because you want to continue your education and you have no money. You don't want to do that because guess what? That's going to put you in the loop exactly where they want to put you at, which is where you will have to take out a student loan. I just explained to you what happens with the student loan. You will be paying interest for the rest of your life on something that could have been avoided, right? So please, do your research. Do not let someone else come and make money off of your ignorance, off of your lack of knowledge. Knowledge is available to all of us because we're living in an era where you're able to go online and find 50 different sources that will give you information. Back then, you had to go to a library and look through books and read. Now you can even ask artificial intelligence to give you a summary. You have access to information, use it. Do not get scammed. Your college decision can put you ahead in the game. You can use that money to invest. You can use that money to do whatever you want. I remember one of the decisions that also I had to make was if I go to a community college, they were not offering me to be able to go abroad because of the degree I had chosen. But if I would have gone to the university, right, I would have been able to go abroad. It would have costed me out of pocket tons of money, a crazy amount of money. And I was like, you know what? I can use the money that I'm getting back. And if I really want to have that international experience, study abroad experience, how about I go on my own? I take care of housing, flight, and food, and I go on my own. And that's exactly what I did. I spent a month in Europe with my best friend using money that I got from studying. So that's my food for thought. I hope this video helps out even one of you. All of this is information I wish that would have been given to me when I graduated from high school or during my high school, because the moment you graduate from high school to the moment you start college, it's a very small window. When you're in your last year of high school, it's a year that goes by so fast, and you have to get so many things done that you have no type of, how do you call it? You don't know about it. So you have no type of knowledge on it. You're just making rash decisions based on maybe advice that you're hearing from your peers who also are on the same boat as you. And maybe you hear advice from your parents or from a cousin or from a sibling. But if they chose to go the route of student debt, to choose the route where they paid for a prestige school, they're only going to be able to give you advice from their point of view. And you might end up making the same mistakes they did because they never found out that there was an alternative and that maybe the alternative would have benefited them. Again, if you want to choose your college based on things like availability of, I forgot the name, I said it earlier, but basically like the groups they make, sororities. If you want to make your college choice based on sororities, maybe the university will be a better choice for you. But think about the money you're missing out on to be part of a sorority. I was never part of a sorority. I don't know the benefits that might come from being in there, but I don't think any of the benefits match up to receiving $3,000 each semester. That's just my personal opinion. At that moment, that was the best option for me. So that will be all. I hope at least one of you maybe found this information to be useful and I possibly saved you hours of researching. I wish you luck and I wish you success. Remember to try and make your decisions based on who you are and what you got going on and what your goal is. If your goal is financial, make your decision based on logic and numbers. If your goal is emotional, it's okay to make your decision on your emotions. What will make you happy? I had a great experience in my community college. I did not experience any type of FOMO. I did not have no type of missing out. I used to go in person and they would give me free food. Hey, you got me there. Free food? I'm automatically in. Free food, free field trips. I even got to do community service twice and I had so much fun. I was never part of a sorority, but I had great professors that taught me so much. And I really feel like it built a foundation for me to go off on. Later on for my bachelor's, unfortunately, my community college did not offer me the option to continue my studies there. If they would have, I would have 100% stayed there because I had to transfer. And when I transferred, that I started receiving all that less money, oh my goodness, did I feel that. I felt it in my heart because I knew I was paying so much more than I had to if I would have been able to stay in my community college. But I didn't have a choice anymore. I had to do it. And I'm just glad that I got to have access to something for a year because I did my associates in 1 year. If not, I would have had access to it for 2 years. I got to have access to something for a year and it did great things for me. So the last thing I will say is make the choice and make the smart choice. Educate yourself. You have time. Educate yourself. Don't struggle because you want to fit in. It's not worth it. Trust me. When you are getting that bank deposit, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. All right? I wish you success.